Surely no other American woman had more personal interest in the recent visit of Deputy Prime Minister Deng Xiaoping and the revived Chinese-American relations than 72-year-old Helen Snow. She and her former husband, the late Edgar Snow, could claim an important role in bringing that about. Helen returned to China recently with producer Tim Considine and a documentary film crew to spotlight China through her remembrances of the 30s. Helen was warmly received by the three foremost women of the People's Republic, including Mesdames Zhou Enlai and Sun Yat-sen. They had not forgotten the close friendship they shared 42 years ago. When Helen first arrived in China, she met American correspondent Edgar Snow and married him. Together, they created an intrepid journalistic team.
We were the first ones that established a kind of entente with what you would call the left-wing people in China. There were missionaries who had plenty of converts and things, but we were the only two who actually built up a friendship with this very top aristocracy of the Chinese student world. And that has continued till this day, and it's becoming more developed.
Wan Hua, now foreign minister, was one of those students who served as Snow's interpreter. And Helen remembers Deng Xiaoping as a top deputy of Mao Zedong during the Long March through northern China.
They were called red bandits by the government. We didn't know whether they were bandits or not. But when my husband came back, of course, he liked all of them. He thought it was a great experience. He loved it up there. I mean, the first thing he said to me, he said, let's go up there and write some books in those caves.
Well, this is where Ed and Mao sat for night after night, you see. And
into the wee hours.
Story for the first time. He had never told it to any Chinese either.
That scoop was the basis for Snow's bestseller Red Star Over China. Helen was also admitted into communist camps, which provided material for her acclaimed book Inside Red China. She was the only woman to interview Mao.
He was awfully attractive and cute because he would ask me questions. And when I was there, this annoyed me because it was wasting my time, and also I couldn't see any point in why was he asking me these questions. But it turned out he really wanted to wanted the answer. He wanted to know what people like me thought. He really was interested in it.
After 12 daring years in China, Helen returned to the U.S. to chronicle her experiences. 7 manuscripts have been published. Most remain unsold. A folk hero in China, Helen has spent the last 40 years in relative obscurity in her 18th century farmhouse. With our renewed interest in China, that may soon change. I'm Linda King for Today's Woman.